So the Guyanese Critic is coming to you from Sussex Street, just across the road from Tulsi Prasad. This is your Tulsi Prasad. What has happened? Heavy rainfall in Georgetown has caused quite a bit of flooding in certain areas, and you know, normally I come to these locations to see how the pumps are working. The Minister of Public Works is on the ground presently and looking at that, and if you look now, the portions are open in the coker, and this pump should have been pumping all the time. These pumps are managed and maintained by the Mayor and City Council, and as if this was an attempt to make Georgetown flood, this was on. So you just take this off, you say? So they're using the gravity flow, and by opening the what we call the coker, it's gonna have a free flow now and relieve the high water in and Sussex Street drains. This is Albystone, and what area this is drain, Chief? Albystone mainly. So as you see, the water is going out, but the minister is on the ground assessing for himself what's the situation, and in most cases the minister, if there's some shortcoming or some help needed, the minister himself could reach out and get that.
Where is the next pump down the side? When the tide change? Huh?
This is my drone late today.
What time the tide turn back to start going out?
It's going out right now.
What time it starts going out? Huh?
10:25. Okay.
10:25?
That's 10 minutes ago.
Alright.
So the Guyanese Critic is on the ground, and I'll be bringing updates for you. Get your update, because I want you to know what is the situation you're going to be in Georgetown. And normally this is a pump also that works. If the coker can't work, they got the pump working, because if there's a high tide, the water can't go out. Gravity, obviously the water inside has to be higher than the water outside for the coker to work and it to have a natural flow, right? But the minister himself is on the ground, and I'm hoping that you know, we could, as much as possible, alleviate flooding in Georgetown. And I'm begging the pump attendants, you know, they're on your lightation. You don't only got a job for drain Georgetown, but you know, people's livelihoods are involved here. You gotta know the important role you play. When it comes to flooding time, the pump attendant is like a nurse, is like a doctor. Thousands of people livelihood, people granny fridge, people bed, a lot of things are involved there. So we go into another pump. We go into the minister, we can check another pump. Minister, you want to give a short update as to what your movements is like this morning?
Well, morning. We have a situation in Georgetown which I believe is unacceptable. It is a fact that we had heavy rainfall overnight, but we've had heavy rainfall last week, we've had heavy rainfall before. But a check from our task force at the cabinet level, I found that most of the pump attendants were not in place to have the pumps running. They slept away. And this morning, I'm assessing both what has happened to households and personally checking and not taking a telephone call to ensure that all the pumps and sluices are up and running so that the water could get off the land. This is not a major flooding in Georgetown. This water will get off. The tide is now turned, and we should have all the sluices up and flowing, but the pumps should have been running while the sluice doors were closed. And that did not happen, so we have accumulation of water. This is neglect by the Mayor and City Council. I've called the city engineer to join me. Since I was heading to Kitty Pump Station, I've been calling his phone back several times. I haven't gotten him yet. The mayor hasn't answered me for the morning as yet.
And he's a man that's normally be on the ground.
So I don't understand this, but we're a government that takes care of all the people. So when you got this situation, for me, politics is not the issue. It's humanity is the issue. Human people are suffering, and we're going to get into South to get for an assessment of what is going on deep in South, because they're heavily flooded. But we got to get the water off, and that's the priority right now.
Thanks, Minister. So you would have heard from the Minister of Public Works, and we are going to go to another location and see what's the situation with the pumps. And you would expect the pumps, the main city council of all persons knowing these areas, specifically Albaistong, is an area that is predominantly the main city council supporters, you know, you would want to think. But leaving out politics in this case, this is a situation where people, you know, after we got one more pump to check right here. After facing almost a year under pandemic circumstances, people have already lost a lot personally, physically, spiritually, mentally. Now, you know, with this, if it can be alleviated, I'm asking the pump attendants themselves to be a little smarter, to be a little wiser, and take into consideration that people are going to lose things if you don't do your job as you know, it's needed to be done. The next thing is, I don't know if the mayor and city council is trying to save on diesel, but they could reach out to persons. I know the mayor is a guy who's normally be on the ground. I'm not seeing the mayor. I was told the city engineer is missing in action. Myself and the minister have gone across and seen quite a few pumps in operation, or looking to see if they're in operation. You have a next sluice here, and all hands need to be on deck in this case. I don't know, and you know how the politics does play in Guyana. I don't know if it's a deliberate attempt to create an embarrassing situation, but let's look past the politics. Let's look past the politics and make this thing work. So this here is, which one? This trench? This is Princess Street Trench. So this is Princess Street Trench, and you got we got a outflow here to some extent. Let me take a chance here. This is a chance. I should not be taking this. We should be smarter. Yeah. So the pump attendant is here. The minister is checking for himself what is the situation. You got an outflow. This is the Demerara River you're looking at. For those of you, just to give you an idea of where we are. So you have the water has gone down in the Demerara River, and you have the water flow now from the city itself coming out. And imagine Princess Street Trench. Look at how Princess Street runs, and you'll get a fair idea of what are the communities that Princess Street all the way down to Lodge. And these areas, Hatfield Street and so on, going to be drained by this pump here, right? Let me hold on for come down from here. And then what's going on? What's going on? This is a little bad place I chose to come in. If you slip there, wouldn't be nice. So it is important, as the Guyanese Critic, as the people's representative on the ground, I'm asking the mayor and city council, be a little more prudent. Let's all work together to make this work and ensure, because we have flooding across the country, but it seems like, you know, if we're not aware and we're not conscious and on point as it relates to this, we're going to end up in problems that are going to affect Guyanese in a negative manner, and we don't want, right? I am with the Minister of Public Works on the ground, who is going across assessing the situation, and nobody better than the minister to report back to the president as it relates to what and how the citizens are affected on the ground. And you gotta move all this thing from here, man. Remember me foot long, you know. Hey, don't put it back, put them to me, sir. Hold on. Yes, for those of you who just tuned into the Guyanese Critic Live, I am coming to you from, this is the Princess Street pump. I am with the Minister of Public Works, who is assessing the situation across Georgetown. Yes. We could go and check the one on our way out since there's Banks area. The Minister of Public Works is assessing the pumps and the drainage situation to ensure that we alleviate flooding in Georgetown. Look, that is some of the streets, and very, very important to keep our finger on the pulse to ensure that the citizenry of Georgetown don't see the same fate as the rest of our country at this time. Very, very unfortunate situation, flooding across Guyana, and not as a result of anybody's fault, but heavy rain and a high tide coming up at the same time has caused this unfortunate situation. We can't keep complaining. Since I'm gonna be honest, I have been on many occasions on things like this. You know, we have a meth office, and I'm hoping that this administration sees fit to use some bit of foresight.
There's one here.
You can't go through the market. Some bit of foresight in the future to alleviate these things. You know, pump. You call in your people, your guy engineer, you call in the pump attendants and tell them, well, listen to me, the rainy season is coming up. You gotta be on your P's and your Q's, because this only happens one time a year. So if the pump attendants are having a lackadaisical approach all year round, you could only imagine they would be caught off guard when, you know, the rainy season steps in. And City Hall specifically has been known to be a very lackadaisical organization. So how do they look at their pump attendants? How does the engineer look at dealing with these issues when they arise? Do they have things in place, a plan A, a plan B, a plan C in the event pumps break down, services to sluices are needed? Did the City Hall reach out to the Ministry of Public Works to say, well, here, Chief, this is coming up at this time, and we might need your help. You know, we want to keep you on speed dial. Are our government bodies and the persons in place to serve the people of this country, are they working together to see that the people are served best? So the Guyanese Critic is on the ground, and I'll be coming to you next live from South, where there's major flooding, I was told, and you will see yourself.